I had a really weird psychedelic called 5-MeO-DMT, which is the smoked venom of the Sonoran desert toad. Who figured that out, should get some kind of prize.
Pretty potent one.
Very potent, and thank God, short-acting. Short-lived. It was actually a horrible experience. That
really?
that was my worst. Yeah.
I had a great experience on
You
it.
did?
Yeah.
So
what was wrong with it?
You take like one puff, and before you exhale, there's a synthetic version too, right? I was taking the venom. You're shot out of a cannon. There's no lead up. It's no warm up. It's like, boom. And I felt like I was actually like strapped to the outside of a rocket, going through space and through clouds, and the G-forces pulling down my cheeks. And it was just this mental storm without nothing to orient myself. There was no space. There was no time. There was no self. It was just unendurable, this punishing roar in my ears. And someone who had done it said eventually it's like a takeoff and you get into orbit. It's very nice at that point. But what happened with me is I had the storm. I can't explain this. You can't tell a story without place, time, and character, right? I had none of those.
Right.
It was just this inchoate energy. And I said it was like before the Big Bang. You remember that? Well, obviously nobody does.
Yeah.
But there was pure energy and no matter yet, and no time yet. I mean, that's where I was. It was horrible. It was terrifying, and I thought I was dying. But then you come down as kind of a suborbital flight, and then I started coming down, and suddenly I could feel, I got a body. I was touching my legs. I have a body, and like, there's a floor. There's space. And then there's time, and the universe kind of reconsolidated, and I had this feeling of incredible gratitude.
Yeah.
Not just for being alive, which all of us have had at one point or another, but that anything existed. I was grateful for the fact that there is something and not nothing, because I'd seen what nothing was like. And so in that sense, it ended up kind of positive, but you wouldn't want to go there to have that experience. So subsequently, somebody said to me, a very experienced psychonaut who I was telling this story to, he said, you didn't have enough.
That's what I was just going to tell you.
Really?
Yeah, because you only took one hit. You usually take 3. You take 3, and the rocket ride leads you somewhere. It takes you to the center of the universe.
You take 3, 3, 3?
3 in a row.
Take a big
one, blow it out. Take a big one, blow it out. Take a big one, and as you're taking the third one, you're already seeing the world crystallize in front of you. It already starts turning into geometric patterns. You put the pipe down, lay back in the chair, and you just shoot off to the center of the universe. The terrifying thing is you cease to exist. It's the one drug that I've ever taken where you're not there anymore.
No.
Even N-dimethyltryptamine, which is the difference between 5-methoxy-dimethyltryptamine is just an oxygen molecule attached to it. But N-dimethyltryptamine is incredibly visually stimulating. 5-methoxy is not.
Yeah.
It's just white.
It was white. It was definitely. I don't know how I could have taken 3 hits because I hadn't exhaled the first one when I was gone.
I only did the synthetic version of it. You're doing this frog
And the person
version.
I know who did the synthetic version had a very different experience, and they felt like they were installed in the firmament as this happy star. But I didn't get there. So who knows? I did something wrong. Okay.
I don't think you did. I just think you had a different experience. And I mean, obviously, there's got to be some sort of chemical difference. I mean, you're probably getting other things in that frog venom as well as pure DMT.
That's right. That may be it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know the answer to that.
It's fucking frog spit. I mean,
I don't think it has the same kind of healing properties because you're not bringing back information that's usable.
I brought back a lot.
You did?
Yeah, I brought back a lot about myself. Post-trip, I'd hit a tape recorder right when I became conscious again and start talking about the experience. And what I remember saying about the 5-methoxy DMT experience is like, as I'm trying to recount what happened, I feel my ego trying to retake hold of the situation and even use words in a way that might impress you with my ability to describe things. Or as a professional comedian too, I was aware that like a lot of what you're doing, you're saying things in a way that's pleasing to people so that they get excited about hearing you talk. Yeah. I'm trying to explain things that are not possible to explain because the words that we're using were all invented for a world that doesn't exist in the DMT dimension. And once you break through, it is so profoundly alien that any words...
And liberating?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in a way, I mean, it may be really, truly realized that we are in a soup of atoms. We're in a universal stew of particles. Yeah, and it breaks those particles down, or at least it gives you a view into that, and you cease to exist, which is the most bizarre thing, because it's so similar to N,N-dimethyltryptamine chemically, but so different in the fact that you're not there. N,N-dimethyltryptamine, which is the active ingredient in ayahuasca. Have you done that, the pure version of it?
No, not the pure version.
The pure version is like a very short, much more intense ayahuasca experience. I've never done ayahuasca. I've only done the DMT version. But what you get out of it is you're there while this is happening, and you're just blown away, and you're like, I can't believe
true in
what I'm
ayahuasca
seeing.
too. You're present.
But there's all these entities that are trying to calm you down. Relax, relax, take it in, settle down, settle down. They're all trying to calm you down. It's weird, you know, and they're also fucking with you, like they give you the finger. Like I had a bunch of jokers that were like dancing around me, giving me the finger.
Did you have machine elves too?
I don't believe in that thing. I don't know what that is. Like McKenna had those experiences of machine elves. I saw what I described as complex geometric patterns that are made out of love and understanding. They seem to me to be like the building blocks of the soul all around you all the time.
Wow.
Like some just gigantic, impossibly large, infinite well of souls. Just these things dancing around you, and they were never one thing. They would be one thing for a second, and they change into something else, and then they change into something different, and the more profound the experiences got, the more profound the next one would be. And they kept saying, like, look at this, look at this. Like, but the words weren't real words. That's the other thing. It's like I'm saying the words, look at this. And I would have that in my head, but I never heard anybody say it. It was almost like it was triggering the concept of those words in my mind.
Right, right. It's pre or post linguistic, some of these experiences.